Hi, my name is Three Gnomes. I'm a solo indie game developer, and I've been making devlogs for my psychological horror game called Toby's Topsy Tale, which is a Lovecraft-inspired 3D platformer. In the game, you play as Toby, who is the little gingerbread man, and you explore a hub-world house filled with all kinds of little magical worlds for you to find and explore. However, these are also filled with sometimes terrifying things. In my last devlog, I made the oven level, including the little gingerbread demons that go in it, and a few other things to do in this level. And then you also saw me start the yarn level, which included the process of making a river made out of quilt fabric, these cute little ducks that you kill to get bread, and the spider, which you saw me make, but you didn't see how it looks when it's really moving. So let's start with that. So essentially, this spider isn't meant to be too complicated. It's actually pretty simple. It just kind of paces around. It goes to one spot, waits a second, moves to another spot, waits a few seconds, then moves again until it sees the player, and then it charges at him, attacks, and then goes back to restart this cycle. It's not meant to feel like a very intelligent enemy. However, I immediately realized this was way too slow, and it felt kind of weird, so I sped it up, and I thought this felt fine. This enemy didn't need to be anything too special. So I've been calling it a yarn level, but this is actually called Grandma's Room. And part of the whole thing about this is that you're going in and you're making a sandwich for you to have on the picnic with Grandma. And so you're going around and getting ingredients. But before I get to any of that, I needed to start with Grandma. So I started by modeling her in Blender, and even though you've seen this process time and time again, if you've seen my devlogs, I recorded it for you so I could splice it together, but I didn't realize that I had accidentally used the streaming option on my video recording software, so there was the grayed out little chat box in all of my recordings. Anyways, don't worry about that. This is Grandma, and I got her done and I slapped her into Unity, and yeah, there's Grandma. This is the moment I realized I was recording the wrong way. Oh, what the Next I had to animate her. Give her a little idle animation, give her an animation for when you hit her with your stick, and then make it so you could talk to her. And you can see there she prompts you to get the ingredients, bread, meat, and greens, so I had to make it so you could collect those, and to start, I made the UI for them. So when you collect each piece, it'll actually appear on the right side of the screen, and until you collect the pieces, there's UI there that's kind of grayed out, letting you know you need to collect that still. However, that shouldn't just be on the side of the screen when you start the level. You need to actually wait to have that prompted by Grandma asking you to get the ingredients, so I set up the coding for that. And now it's like you have a little grocery list. Next, I made it so that you could do little quests for some of the characters hidden within this world, and they'd give you the ingredients. But I don't want to show you anything about that because I want you to actually explore and figure out who you need to talk to, what you need to do. But I made UI, particle effects, variables, all the things that you need for that. It was a lot of steps, but we're going to skip it so that I don't spoil anything. Okay, moving on. If you've ever thought about commenting or saying something in the Discord, I want you to know that I really love getting feedback. So here's an example. I posted on Facebook a picture of Grandma as I was working on her, and I got a couple comments, one of which being, "I would die for this woman," which, same. And the other one was talking about how it looked like she would herd crochet sheep. And that really got my gills? What am I, a fish? That got my gears turning, and I decided to add crochet sheep to this game. And yes, they are adorable, but you might be asking yourself, what do they do? Absolutely nothing. You can just smack them around. They make little sounds when you do it. That was my idea, so I started by just giving them a capsule collider and a rigid body so you could hit them and they'd roll. And that wasn't right, so I changed the type of collider, and now they kind of just bounced around and stopped instead of rolling constantly. So they're just fun to play with. And then I recorded the sound when you hit them and a different one type sound for when you just kind of bump into them. And that's just a fun thing for you to do in the game. It's just another little thing you can try. So let me know what you think of the crochet sheep, and make sure you give me advice for things you'd like to see in the game. Who knows, maybe I'll just on a whim throw them in like this. Anyways, yeah, crochet sheep, fun. Although I should probably mention they are affected by enemies. Moving on. So after you've collected all the pieces for the sandwich, obviously you should be able to see the sandwich, correct? So I made that. So here's bits and pieces of me making a sandwich. Nothing too impressive, although I did remember to take the chat box off the side of the screen, so I had that going for me. Okay, sandwich made. That's as much as I need to show you for the yarn level. Let's move on to the new level I'm making, the bathroom level. For those of you who aren't very familiar with my work, if you haven't seen a lot of my devlogs before, you might be asking yourself, how does he go through levels so fast? How does he create them? And the truth is, I've been working on this game for a very, very, very long time, probably close to 5 years at this point. However, I've only been working on this game file with the programming I've been teaching myself as I've gone for about 9 months now. And so I made many, many levels when I was working with someone who was going to do the programming for me while I was waiting for him to get that done. And now that I'm working on my own in a new file, I'm pretty much just taking the scenes that I've already made and putting them into this new game file. That's what I did with the yarn level, the fridge level, the kitchen, pantry, all of those types of things. However, due to some type of issue in the other file, I'm having to hand make the bathroom based on pieces I already had, so it's pretty much just remaking a scene I'd already made in the other game. So all of the level design was already done, and I'm just trying to replicate it here. So one thing I really like about working alone is that now when I make pieces for a level, I can actually put my character in, pop in, and play around with what I just put into the level, which, as you can imagine, for a 3D platformer is very, very important. The person I was working with before, who I don't want to say anything bad about, it's just our working relationship wasn't good, we didn't end up being able to work together, was never able to get me a working version of Toby for me to use to, you know, gauge how high something needed to be for you to jump on it, things like that, but now I can throw something in and just immediately play around with it. And that's something I didn't have when I was trying to work with a partner. Anyways, so I'm sure you're absolutely riveted watching me put appliances into a bathroom. You could see this while they're redeveloping any neighborhood, so how about I show you something a little creepier? The other bathroom that I was working on simultaneously. This bathroom, as you can probably tell, isn't in your house. This seems to be the bathroom of some sort of asylum. And while I would love to show you the entire process, I feel like at this point you're probably going, all right, let's get to the end result. So here, let's go back to the first bathroom you saw me working on, and here's what it looks like when you're actually playing the game. It's very dark, it's very foreboding. There are just little candles lighting bits and pieces of the area, so you never really know what's around you. And if you look to add to this feeling of not knowing what's around you, I also lowered the depth of field so that everything that's more than a little bit away from you is kind of blurry, out of focus, and the camera is a lot closer in on you. It's really meant to make you feel uncomfortable compared to the other levels you've been in. Okay, cool, so it looks scary, but there's so much more to actually making a level... I hit the mic. So much more to actually making a level scary. So next up, I took some of the music that was made for this level by the incredible composer, Gabriel Calderon, who offered to make all the music for the game. He's just the best. And now with that music in the level, the entire thing feels a lot more smothering, suspenseful. Just downright uncomfortable. He really is the master at what he does. Okay, so it looks creepy, it sounds creepy, it feels creepy to play, but you still need something in there to kill you. Otherwise, the fear is for nothing. And I want to make sure you have legitimate reason to be afraid. So I took the yarn spider, I'm sure you remember him, and I put his flesh skin on him, which was always the original plan, and then I popped him in the level, a lot smaller, and programmed him to murder you. So good luck exploring the dark. Oh, and if you think they're creepy here, remember that other creepier bathroom I was working on? Well, they also have these flesh spiders. Good luck. So that's it for this devlog. I would love to show you more of what I'm working on, so make sure you like and subscribe. I am getting closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers, so it would really mean a lot to me if I could hit that number. I never even thought it was something I would get close to, so thank you guys so much. Also, you can join my Discord if you're interested, link in the description. There are so many talented people there. Here's their art on the screen right here. Let me know your thoughts about this video, comment, and there's a man screaming outside my window, so I'm gonna end this here. Thank you for watching.